So snow. There's snow around me. What are we gonna do with all the snow? We're gonna enjoy it. And I'm gonna think that you noticed from the title, I come from the land of the ice and snow. Here, where I live, near this beautiful river, there's snow in winter for like half the year, if not slightly more than half the year. However, this particular year, we didn't get a snow until the week before Thanksgiving, which is mind-bogglingly like, what? There should have already been snow. There should have already been snow. However, at the same time, I'm kind of happy about it. But before I go too much further, a quick visual descriptor. I have long brown hair, glasses. I'm wearing this beautiful scarf. I've got my big blue winter coat on. Lovely little hand warmers and a coffee mug. Behind me, there are some snow-covered trees, and there is. You can see like, oh, hold on, where is it? That back there. There's snow all on the ground around the edges of the river. It's getting snowy. It's getting cold. And that actually brings me to probably the most important thing I want to talk about. Getting cold. Grab your coffee, tea, whatever it may be. Let's have a little talk. This time of year is special for tons of people all around the world as we enter into a season of various holidays for various different groups of people. Almost every culture has some sort of winter holiday, especially things that revolve around things like the equinoxes and the solstices and the coming of the end of the year, depending on your calendar. But regardless, this is an important time of year. And during this time of year, we're not just celebrating, we're also doing things like, especially in the US, next week we're going to be giving thanks. We're going to be thankful for Thanksgiving. And then next month, depending on the traditions you follow, there's Christmas, which is, again, it's a time of giving. Giving. And often we think about these holidays too as times of togetherness, of times of love, of family, of friendship. But let me just kind of add a thought. And it's one that I already know is going around, and it's one that we all acknowledge. Because this is also a time of year where, for many of us, we don't actually have as much as someone else. Or maybe we have much more than someone else. Why does that matter? Trust me, what I'm about to say has nothing to do with, how much you have and whether or not that's important. And actually, what can you give? As we enter into the beginning of the stretch of winter holidays, the stretch of moments where we think about friends and family, as we approach Thanksgiving, as we approach Christmas, as we approach, of course, there's Hanukkah and there's all different things. I can't name them all, and I don't know them all. Feel free, though, if you have a holiday coming up that's not one of the standard holidays, put it in the comments chat wherever you're joining me. But just like this snow behind me is inevitable, it's going to come, so is the cold. And if you are someone who has something more to give, if you are someone who's blessed to be able to give, I would like to encourage everyone to remember that there are those out there who don't have what we have. There are people out there who live rough. There are people out there intense. There are just people sometimes who are struggling paycheck to paycheck. having trouble keeping the bills, and with the holidays coming up, maybe they just need a little help, or maybe they just need a little kindness. It's up to you to figure out what you're going to give. Maybe you invite someone to your family Thanksgiving, or maybe you donate a bunch of cans of food to a local food pantry or shelter or something like that. Whatever it is, just spend some time, give to others. If it is possible for you, and I'm going to state that too, remember, if it's possible for you to give to others, because I realize there's going to be people who watch this who don't have the ability to give. And now I'm going to talk to specifically those people who don't have the ability to give. Whether you are the people I was just talking about, living paycheck to paycheck, or you're living rough, or just something in your circumstances you can't give. If you don't need anything, I'm going to state this first, if you don't need anything, there is something that you can do that isn't giving money or feeding people or things like that. It's volunteering your time. That is something that you can do if you have a couple hours in the week, or even an hour. There's probably a local shelter, an outreach near you that might need volunteers for something, whether it's evening dinners for the unhoused, the homeless, whether it's someone who just, maybe it's doing driving, bringing food to people who can't leave their homes, stuff like that. So there are other ways that you can be giving, and there's other ways that you can give. And now let's go on and move to the next thought, which is maybe you have nothing to give and you actually need help. And if you need help, first off, you need not be ashamed to say you do. Don't be ashamed to say you need help. This time of year, a lot of us could use help with a lot of things. And if you need help, if you're someone who's having a hard time, you're struggling, whatever it might be, don't be afraid to ask for help. And don't be afraid to seek help out. There is nothing wrong with going to a free lunch or dinner at a shelter or a church. Nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong with having to go to a food pantry and admit that you need help with food. There's nothing wrong with saying, I just need some sweaters for myself or my spouse or something for my kids. It's okay to ask for help. And I know that it's difficult. I know that. I know it. And I understand. But just to come back around, whether you're someone who can give, whether you're someone who can't give monetarily or otherwise, but you can donate some time, or whether you're someone who needs help, this is the beginning of a hard season for everyone. With winter, with cold, with snow, with holidays, with family get-togethers. Some of us might not have family to get together with. There's all sorts of other things. And there are people who have personal traumas related to holidays. And there are people who, they have a home and everything, but they don't have heat. So there's a lot of different scenarios for all of us for the next few months, actually. And just because Thanksgiving is next week and Christmas is next month, winter doesn't end after Christmas, at least not for all of us. In fact, for here, it's going to be here for another 4 or so months after that. maybe a little bit more. So you can make a long-term plan if you want. If you want to start collecting things now to do a donation for Christmas or New Year's or in January, you want to have a big box of stuff, go around to family, friends, ask coworkers, get people involved, whatever you need to do. My point is, you don't have to do something today. Just remember that now's a great time of year to really start putting out, giving to other people, sharing what we have. And I think I've gone on long enough about all of this. So I will, of course, be seeing you this weekend and next week for streams. But this weekend is the Art of Feeling, an abstract art workshop. Every month I teach these workshops to share expression, the ability to put our feelings, our emotions into a physical form on canvas, on paper. There's going to be a link either in the description or in the chat, wherever those might be. And with that link, you can come sign up for the Art of Feeling. It is open to everyone, no matter what your skill level. And it also makes a pretty good gift for someone else. It's a virtual workshop, so you don't have to leave home. All you need is a phone and some sort of internet connection. And you can join us. And you don't have to talk. You don't have to have your camera on. You can just participate, follow along. You know, it's going to be a good time. And even though I do have a link on the listing and a list of recommended art supplies, you know, so the link, it will actually take you to my Amazon storefront where you can get some of those budget supplies. And then there's a list, so if you already have an art store nearby, you can get them. If you don't have any of that stuff and you just have some art supplies already, that's fine. Whatever you have, you can bring. Do consider joining us this Saturday. It's from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to have a good time. We're going to make abstract art. There's going to be a little art history conversation. There's going to be some techniques, and we're going to enjoy expressing ourselves. Great. It's a great time. Everyone is a great time. So consider joining us. But until the next time I see you, grab an extra cuppa. You deserve one. Consider this beginning of the season of giving and maybe what you can do for someone else, or maybe you need to consider stating that you do need help. And it's okay if you do. It's perfectly okay if you do need help. And you can say it. Fine. I wish you all the best. Be excellent, and I will see you all again very soon. Get that cuppa. Bye, everybody.